Yes, I know. It's really come to this. You saw the title. It's come to this. I want you guys to know before I even start, I did not want to do a video like this. I have purposefully tried to stay away from people inciting race and gender wars, okay? Because that's not what we're here for. We're on a higher level. We are above that stuff. I am Shayla J. This is Chocolate Cake 101. It's like 4:30 in the morning. There's a thunderstorm, a brewing, and I am using my outdoors mic to have this conversation with you. Because this is a serious conversation. But I have to get to some disclaimers first. So first of all, the only reason why I'm even having this conversation is because I was brought into the conversation as a melanated woman. They said black woman, but they were talking about melanated women. And I have a black son. I have a melanated son. I don't like the term black, you guys. It has legal implications, and that's a whole nother thing that we need to talk about, but that's for a little bit later. I was watching a video. I wasn't watching the whole video. I don't care about the whole video. And I've told you guys time and again that the internet is owned by people that need to keep you emotionally chaotic, emotionally upset, emotionally at war with the other people in your life. And if you take that bait, it is going to keep you broke, and it is going to keep you resentful, feeling betrayed and abandoned. I've talked about this so many times. A lot of people on the internet get paid to keep you in a low state of mind. And the internet, although it says it wants peace, the algorithms pick up on topics that will stir the public. And we were programmed anyway to react more toward things that upset us than things that don't. So we have this whole culture of toxicity. I know we don't really like that. Let's say unhinged. We are living in an unhinged society. And then you have people like me that use social media to try to educate the masses, to try to put you guys on game, to teach you about manipulation and manipulating the masses specifically. So if you like stuff like that, I have a whole playlist. Most of my videos are about propaganda, emotional intelligence. I talk about self, soul, systems, and society because we are getting into a new form of life. And if we are not put on game, then we are, like I said, we're either not going to have a family dynamic, we're not going to have the money and the dream that we wanted to live, or we're not even going to be here at all. The human race is changing and it's becoming dumber and dumber, just like that movie. Anyways, like I said, I'm Shayla J. This is Chocolate Cake 101, and I'm talking to you guys today about why Black men date white women. And the only reason why I'm having this conversation with you is because I saw a clip online about it, and it was just a clip from a whole video. I did not watch the whole video, so there might be some differences, but when you put a clip out there, I get to respond, especially when you bring Black women into it. Like, for some reason, Black women keep being drawn into the conversation when we are not either party, so we should be left out of it. Anyways, there was something else that I wanted to get to before I said that. It'll come back around. I didn't use the script today because I just want to go ahead and do this video. It's like 4 something in the morning. I have other things to do. So I didn't watch the whole video. This guy, I've only seen him a few times before. He's a Black man. He's got a huge channel. When you're growing a YouTube channel, for those of you guys don't know, it's about consistency. It's about commitment. And 95% of the people who have these big channels also paid for advertising. So when you see someone with a small channel, I'm gonna go ahead and say, let's talk about it. It's not because their knowledge isn't sound. It's because they haven't put in the commitment. They haven't put in the time. They haven't put in the money. And that's okay. Everybody has to start somewhere. But I encourage you to allow people to have their opinions, because we live in a society that has spread so much lies and incited so much chaos that if we are going to have, if you care about your children having a dating pool that isn't murky ass shit, then you're going to have to start speaking up if you are someone who is more emotionally intelligent and has a different opinion. So the guy was asked, or the clip that I saw, the guy was talking about why Black men date white women. To generalize any group of people is silly anyway, because people have their differences. I'm going to tell you the different reasons why Black men date white women in the end. I'm going to tell you why. However, I'm first going to respond to this gentleman, because his response was that Black men date white women because Black women are combative and argumentative. And you know what? He's not wrong. It's based on a true story. It was a half-truth. I do have my own bone to pick with Black women, and I've talked about this before in my video about toxic masculinity. I'll link it above. But for the same reason that black women are toxic masculine, black men are also toxic masculine. It starts with the shit that happened for 400 years. I need to stop cussing so much in this video. I might bleep those out. No, I won't. It started with slavery and black people having unresolved trauma. But first, we're going to talk about him, and then I'm going to go into that. Men also have unresolved trauma, and I did a whole video about men. Most of my that's what I wanted to say. I got a whole lot of white girlfriends, okay? I am not trying to lose my friends. And a lot of my white girlfriends have black husbands, black boyfriends, black baby daddies. A lot of them stop talking to me when they start dating black men, but a lot of them don't. And I am not trying to lose my white girlfriends. Like, I go tubing on the river, okay? And I don't want to lose that. Okay. The same girl already kicked me out of a dance group 10 years ago over a misunderstanding that she had with another black girl. But anyway, so also, most of my demographic on my YouTube channel are black men. Also, I may have started talking to some white gentlemen. I was married to a white man for 10 years, so I feel like I can talk about shit like this. But I'm starting to, talk to some white men right now. And, I don't want them thinking that I care about issues like this, because as I've told you guys before, these conversations are meant to keep us down. And really, they are really only for people who are in survival mode, people who are emotionally unhinged, people who need validation. Okay, and who want to spend their time talking about social issues that aren't really true, that are half truths, rather than using social media to build their empire, because there's so much free game on here. And you should be using social media to learn about AI and what's going on with the sun and what's going on with your body and all these beautiful things that you can learn, all these skills. You can learn to garden, you can learn about parenting. There's so many things, other things that you have to do online rather than watching things that keep you upset with your counterparts. But that's for another day. As a man, as a balanced, healthy man, when someone is asking you why you chose your partner, you should be talking about all the wonderful qualities about your partner. So if I ask you, black man, why you are dating a white woman, your response should be telling me how beautiful Jessica is and how she makes you smile with her quirkiness and how she's adventurous, because that's how white girls are. I know, because they're my friends. That's why I like them. You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of black girlfriends too. Most of my friends right now are black girls. But you see what I'm saying? White women have so many wonderful traits to them. So for you to immediately just jump to black women who have nothing to do with it, and we don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to be at the store, see a interracial couple and feel like I'm supposed to feel uncomfortable. I don't care. I was married to a white dude. I've been there. I'm cool with it. Do it. It's cool. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But to bring a black woman into it is to incite a gender war and to try to keep black women and white women jealous and against each other. It's disgusting. And as a man, I'm ashamed of you, especially since you have such a platform to do well and to bring health toward your viewers. But it must be red pill content. And I do have a lot of red pill content, so I could see that might have gotten into my algorithms. But I think I've said this, I'm not sure if I have. He's not wrong, and I do have a bone to pick with black women. I talked about that in my video with toxic masculinity. But that wasn't the time. That was the time for him to talk about how cool white women were, or how it's nobody's business who you date. That's what he should have said. But to talk about black women, to let that come out of your mouth, that was victim mentality. That's blame shifting. That's, like I said, inciting a gender and a race war. And it's disgusting. It really is. So next time someone asks you why you're dating a woman, go ahead and tell them about all the shitty things your ex did and watch them run. Of course, white women aren't running because some of them are insecure. The ones I have seen white women side-eye people in videos. This isn't like real life conversation. This is all online stuff. I've seen people side-eye, but a lot of insecure people, because you've seen this a lot in videos, they laugh. They think it's funny. You think it's funny that you're second place? You think it's funny that you're dating a man with trauma? You think it's funny? Because the next thing he said was, if you have a man who is providing for you and going to work and doing all these things right, he doesn't want to come home to fight another person. Well, who checked out? Because if she's angry about something. So are we talking about the same thing? Why is she angry? Why is she combative? Why is she starting arguments? Now, like I said, a lot of black women have traumas. So a lot of bitches be tripping. But in most cases, she's mad because you were doing something. So what were you doing? Again, we're not taking accountability for our actions. If you're cheating on her, or if she's having to have money problems, which those are the two main issues of the middle class, it's infidelity and money issues, then obviously you're not doing everything right. And I'm not saying that it is all your money issues would all be your fault, but infidelity issues would be. I literally had a relationship with a gentleman who I didn't know had 92 OnlyFans accounts. They weren't all active, but he had 92 accounts. And then he was looking at me stupid. He was like, I'm supposed to be. So one of the reasons why Black men would prefer a white woman, in that case, what he was saying is because they're more docile. In other words, when I come home after cheating on Karen, she's just going to cry. Keisha going to jump on that ass. But Karen will let me get away with it. She won't like it, but she's not going to do anything. But Keisha's going to do something. Keisha might throw hot grits on me. Thank you, Tyler Perry, for that bullshit. Anyways, so I want to talk about the Black woman narrative. Yes, Black women in the public realm have a public persona of being angry. They also have a public persona of taking the majority or the emotional load of what happened with Black people. You see, 400, 500, 600, whatever, how many years ago you want to say, there was a time where Black people who were not called Black, they were actually melanated. Their land was stolen from them. Even if you believe the narrative that they were stolen off of ships, it doesn't matter whether you believe they were stolen from their land and brought here on ships, or whether you believe that their land was stolen from them. They were turned into slaves. And in the process of them turning into slaves, they were taken advantage of, they were beaten, their families were separated, the men were anal. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that. I'm sorry. Let me go back. They were essayed. They were assaulted in a very disgusting way on purpose. Their babies, their children were assaulted on purpose. Their babies and their children were essayed. They were put through the mental and emotional ringer. They were tortured. Things were taken from them. If they had an idea about something, it was taken, and a white man would put a patent on it and take away their idea. Then when they were freed, they built their own land, their own colonies in their own towns. And after they were successful, oppressors came in again, destroyed their town, broke up their family. Black women, I don't like saying that term, but Black women were through all of this. They had to fight alongside their men. They had to watch their men be defeated, and they still had to breastfeed their babies, take care of the family, take care of the white man's family, breastfeed his kids. You know how hard it is to breastfeed someone else's kid, let alone your own. Shit is hard, okay? There's so much that they had to do, and they had to do it with a smile on their face, because you better smile. They had to cover up their hair. They lost their hair. They lost their life. They lost they lost their food. They lost the things that made them who they were. And if you can imagine 400 years of oppression, of oppressing someone this way, of course they're going to be a little angry. Of course they're going to be traumatized. Of course they're going to be emotionally unhinged, but they were taught to work through it. I'm not allowed to be sad. I'm not allowed to be mad. I'm not allowed to be sad that you sold my baby or killed my baby or ate my child or whatever. I'm not allowed to be upset that I am hurt, that I've got scars on my back and I've got a broken arm and I need medical attention. I'm not allowed to be upset that you are taking me into an operating room and operating on me without anesthesia, without anything that would help me feel better. I'm not allowed to even feel sad about this. So black people, but Black women specifically, what I'm talking about right now, have a history of having to be abused and still pretend that everything's okay. And then after all that is said and done, and again, I'm not saying that Black men didn't go through the ringer either. You guys did, in the same way and in different ways, because you are different. You handle things differently. You go through things differently, and different things are going to happen. You have men and women, masculine and feminine energy, have two different jobs, two different roles, gender roles. And so the abuse is going to look different and the emotional scars is going to be different, but they are still both PTSD and trauma. And then after all of that, no one has acknowledged or validated your trauma. No one has said, we're sorry this happened. No one has said, here's reparations. Not that No one has said any of that. So every day, Black people live with not knowing who they are, where they've come from, what's going on, and there is a lot of emotional damage that gets ignored all day, every day. And then you have other races laughing in our face about what their ancestors did to us, or laughing in our face about what was done, or not understanding what's going on with us in the first place and not caring. And a lot of us were taught not to care. That's why Black people make a joke out of everything. It's sad, you guys. It's really sad. So then on top of all of that Black women have had to go through, to imagine you have the people that you rode for. Black women have been riding for Black men for a long time because of what happened, because we have grace and compassion as women. And to have a certain group of Black men spit in your face, not because they want to date white women, but because they blame you for their reason for dating white women. I'm not saying that there's not a problem, but it should be given grace and compassion and worked on together, instead of, you're combative, you're argumentative. Of course she's argumentative. She's had to fight for fucking 400 years. What you mean? What did you expect? What did you think was going to happen? Did you think everything was going to be butterflies and roses and daisies? Of course it's going to be with the white girls, because white people have not had that same immediate history. Notice I said immediate, because I do think that white people have had their own history that they have covered up the same way they're trying to cover up the stuff that's going on now, the same way they rewrote history when they wouldn't let Black people read for 300 years? I told you guys I want to do a whole build on the Spanish Inquisition, but every time I go into it, not only is it hard because they have done such a good job burning the records, but it angers me because it's deeper than we thought it was in school. It was not a religious revolution. It was an education and history revolution. They erased Black people off of the map. And today, the things that people, white people, Black people, Asian people, everybody thinks they know about Black people is all incorrect. I heard a Spanish girl talking about Black people the other day. I'm like, she don't even know. We all are just dumb. You should hear what they say about Americans. You people don't even know your history. Not just the Black ones, none of you guys. To my Black women, it would behoove you to work on your emotional intelligence. I've said this so many times. This whole soft girl era is cute. It's not just about the outside, but it's about healing your inner wounds. I would say most Black women suffer from resentment and betrayal. Those are the big ones. I even suffer from that. I had my daddy. I lived a soft girl life. I grew up a soft girl. That's why I'm able to have these conversations with you guys. But because of my DNA, I feel it. And a lot of you guys, we live in such a logical, because we live in the conquistadors world, in the Western culture, what do they call them? What do they call them? The colonizers world. The colonizers are by genetics unattached from their spiritual self. So because we grew up under them, we're taught to be unattached from who we are spiritually. But your spirit still lives. And that's why, because people say, why do you care about what happened to your ancestors? Because you are your ancestors. Their blood runs in yours. Your DNA is made up of them. That's what I talked about it in my video about the age of Aquarius. I'll link it above, about the senses that we have. They talk about the 5 senses. Those are just your physical senses: taste, touch, hear, smell, and see. Did I say that? And feel. But you also have mental senses, and you have spiritual senses. And I talked about mental senses being telepathy, clairvoyancy, clairsentient, clairaudient. Watch my video. There's 5 of them. There's more than 5, way more than 5. There's telepathy, telekinesis, clairsentient, clairaudient, telekinesis, telepathy. Yeah, someone's screaming at the screen. It's this, Jayla. I can't remember. My mind is going blank. Like I said, it's 4:30, probably almost 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's 5:05 in the morning, and I'm trying to get this video out because I have things to do. My point is, so let me tell you now, why do Black men date white women? Well, I know because I know. Because they're fun, because they're pretty, because they're adventurous, because they're more docile. And first of all, them being fun and pretty does not take away from you being fun and pretty. They're just fun and pretty in different ways. You have to understand, for the last couple hundred years, if a black man looked at a white woman wrong, he was dead. Emmett Till, that's the one we talk about, but there's so many cases of black men being harassed and killed. And not just them, their families' home would be burned down, the families would lose their business. So it was forbidden for so long for black men to even look at white women. And white men did that, by the way. But now, it's still a little scary. But we are at a time where it is more freeing than ever to be able to go outside of your comfort zone. And so black men want to explore that. And there's nothing wrong with that. To a black man, a white woman is a foreign person that he's never been allowed to explore. And he's allowed to explore that. There's nothing wrong with that. My black woman, guess what? White men are the same way. They're fun. They're more docile. They're more likely to be providers, and they're more likely to have better jobs and make better money. And I'm not here trying to talk bad about I love my black men, but I'm just saying. So stop caring. We don't care. You know who I've really been wanting to try? Asian men. Go get you a Jet Li girl. They are smart. They can be good looking. Great work ethic. As a matter of fact, it's so funny. I was getting my nails done the other day. And the Vietnamese man was telling me, like, we should get together. We would make pretty babies and blah, 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 blah. He wasn't my type. But you see what I'm saying? You could go outside your race. It's okay. There's a girl on Instagram right now, Shayla Ray. We have the same name. She dates a white man. People think that she's a gold digger, but she actually had her own money. She made her own money. Maybe not as much as him. I don't know what he does, but she made her own money. And then when you make your own money, it gets you into a world full of men who will be more what you want. But black women, white men love us. White men love us. And it's a different kind of love than with the white men, the white women and the black men. They are figuring out some things that they have not been able to explore before. But white men have a history of exploring black women, and they love us. And I know a lot of you, I'm not he's objectifying me. No. You've never dated a white man if that's what you think. White men see you as this Nubian, strong woman. They love it. They are confident in themselves to want to explore you. Look at, what's that guy? Alexis Ohana dating Serena. That girl got muscle. And she's strong and she's powerful, but he is confident in himself to want to be around a woman like that. A lot of men, I'm not going to say color, we're just going to put certain men in survival mode, or men who feel like they have to prove their masculinity, would be threatened by that. But a confident man, who a lot of them are going to be in the white arena, because white men have always been put on a pedestal, so they have been allowed to be themselves and allowed to be confident. So they're not afraid of that. Okay? Another reason why black men will date white women is because, yes, a lot of black women are mean. Black women tend to be picky. They tend to be mean. We can be mean, you guys. I'm not mean. Some of y'all are mean, but that comes from the toxic masculine victim mentality, survival mode. Like I said, black women do need to work on that. Any woman who's in that energy needs to work on that, because it affects your femininity and it affects the men that want to date you, whether they're toxic themselves or not. The men who are not toxic will not even see you. So you don't have to worry about dating a man who's balanced, because they're not even looking at you. You need to get yourself healthy. You will attract toxic men who will then in turn feel hurt by you. You guys will just go back and forth giving each other trauma. That's why it's called trauma bonding. And then he will take his toxic traits and go date a white girl and blame you for it. And then he will make her toxic. So like, we are poisoning society by not getting ourselves together. See what I'm saying? Other than that, a lot of black men date white women just because. When I married my white man, it wasn't because he was white. I date another race or color. It doesn't mean I don't like my strong black brothers. It had nothing to do with the black boys, and I never ever said it did. It just was coincidence. We met. He was cute. It was cool. My sisters were like, oh, he's cute. So I dated him, and then it became marriage, and it became 10 beautiful years of, it became 10 years of me raising his kids. I still love my ex-husband, and we were just hanging out the other day. And then he went on to date more black women. He loves black women. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you dating a white woman. I will say a lot of different cultures do not date outside their culture, but it has nothing to do with racism. It has to do with keeping the bloodline clean, because if we date other races, all of a sudden our bloodline, not all of a sudden, after some generations, our bloodline will not even look the same anymore. Not only that, they want to keep the money in the community because everyone will benefit from keeping the money in the community. So when Jewish people and Asians and Arabs date inside their culture, everyone calls it smart and economically sound. But when Black people do it, it's racist. But that's because they need your neuromelanin. They need your dollars. It's not racist when you want to stay inside your race. So I'm not saying don't. And by the way, that's another thing I wanted to say. There is a huge, most Black men date Black women. Do not let the internet that wants to upset you tell you different, okay? And there are a lot of healthy Black men who date healthy Black women. Most of them are not online like that. I have a lot of Black friends that are married to Black people and have beautiful Black children. So there's nothing wrong with staying inside your race. Don't let people tell you that there isn't. And in the Black community, in our Black homes, when we have these conversations, more times than not, I am defending interracial dating. So most Black people would prefer to stay inside the race. There's nothing wrong with dating outside your race. I date outside my race. I'm just saying, if you want to date inside your race, I love Black men too. It's okay. You can do it. Black people, a lot of Black people do not want to date outside their race. One, like I said, for the reasons of wanting to keep the bloodline what it is. But a lot of Black people are also very upset with the white culture because of what happened. Most white people that you see had nothing to do with slavery. However, they are also miseducated about what happened and what continues to happen still today, the injustices, and they blame, so that there's this race thing. They blame you, you blame them. The other reason is organ stealing. Organ stealing is a thing. It's not called organ stealing. Organ harvesting is a thing. And if you are going to harvest an organ, the best organs to harvest are the ones with neuromelanin in them, because they have those natural benefits that are also related to the neuromelanin that's in the sun and the earth. So they are known to be more healthy and have more abilities than other different race organs. Organ harvesting has always been a thing, but it became bigger after that movie, Get Out. I've never seen that movie because I do not like to contribute to racism and all the other stuff like that. I try to not watch low class. I don't like keep watching things that incite fear in me because I gotta live. And then when I watch those things, I'm like, dang, I put myself, that the man from the KKK that has a huge impact in our community, that was best friends with his daughter. I used to go camping with the family. I was the only little Black girl. So many times my organs could have been harvested, but I've been protected because I choose not to be a Christian and choose to use my power that Jesus Christ and Jehovah himself have told me that I have. Again, I've told you guys many times, there's a difference between loving Jesus Christ, who was not a Christian, by the way, loving Jehovah, and then the indoctrination of the Christian religion that was really meant to teach slaves to love God and be okay with giving up their power, because you are not being protected in that religion. You're actually being taught that it's God's plan and it's okay. You need to you need to serve your master. I don't know if I forgot anything in this video. So to that guy, I did not do this video for that gentleman. I did this video because there's a whole bunch of people that will see that and think the silliness that he spit out, think that what he said was actually facts. I don't know how the woman responded, because like I said, I didn't watch the whole video, and this was just a clip for clickbait. People are incentivized to start drama online because it gives them likes, it gives them views, and that gets them paid, and that gets them seen. If you were going to be someone like that, at least talk about the truth. That's why I like Candace Owens, because she's very controversial. She talks about a lot of crazy topics, but she gives you the full spiel. She lets you know, she tells you the whole story. It's not half truths. And she's married to a white man. She just had her fourth beautiful baby, little mixed baby. So the moral of the story is Black men date white women because they're foreign, and they are women that they were not allowed to date 100 years ago, 5 years ago, shit. But they're allowed to date them now. And you need to leave that alone. We as Black women aren't in that anyway. So let me say that again, because Black women aren't putting themselves in the conversation. Black men keep putting us in that conversation. You guys need to leave us alone. There's nothing wrong with black men dating white women. There's nothing wrong with black men not dating white women. You can date whoever you want to date. Just stop making it about somebody else doing something wrong. And instead just say, because we want to, because it's something new. And like I said, black women, your only job in this is to continue to mind your business and glow, and to heal anything that you haven't healed. I talk about it all the time. I have my book, 31 Ways to Flow. It talks about over 31 ways that you can stabilize your vagus nerve. The one thing that I don't talk about in that, I don't think I talk about inner child healing. I don't talk about that because it took me a while to catch on to that. I've heard about it for a long time, and it sounded great, but I didn't think I had childhood wounds because my father and my mom are happily married for 42 years. What am I sad about? But I did have childhood wounds. I did not realize I had an abandonment wound from leaving California, thinking that I left my life there, crying every day in third grade. Shout out to all the people I went to third grade with. They remember me crying every day. It's important, no matter who you are, to go back and heal your inner child. It's such a beautiful thing. I know it sounds goofy. I get it. And it sounds woo-woo. But woo-woo is actually not a bad thing, by the way. That was your oppressor that doesn't want you to be in tune with who you are spiritually. Check out my book, 31 Ways to Flow. It is a free download in my Stan store. The link will be below. For the men in my demographic, I have teamed up with certifiedgear.shop. Certifiedgear.shop, I talk about that. I've been talking about that a lot for the past few days. Is a clothing line of expressive wear and custom wear. So you can go on the website. You can either have things custom made or you can shop from our collection. If you use if you use my promo code chocolatecake101, you will get an additional discount. That's only for a limited time. So go ahead and do that now. Also, for my ladies, especially the ones I just told you, we're healing. We're getting our life back. We're healing. We are becoming our soft girl. To do that, one thing that's helped me a lot was Primal Queen. I know we hear about it on TikTok. I haven't even been on TikTok. Which reminds me of something I forgot to say. We've heard about it on TikTok. Primal Queen. It's the beef organ pill. I've been taking it for about 6 weeks now. I absolutely love it. It has given me so much energy. It's changed my mood, and it's given me the energy that I need to get shit done, like be up at 5 o'clock in the morning talking to you guys. But one thing I did forget to say, a lot of black women feel like it's goofy to date white boys. No, it's not. The TikTok trend, the black wife effect, girl, he will do what I told you, he's docile because they didn't grow up. And so a lot of them didn't grow up in survival mode. A lot of them did. I'm not trying to sound like, a lot of them have wounds too, but a lot of them didn't grow up in survival mode. They're more docile. They'll do what you want them to do. The social media is full of black women dating white men. Watch some of them. Put it in YouTube. Facebook has their own pages just full of them. I'm not saying don't date black men. There are a lot of black men that are great. I told you guys in my last video, I'm a part of a community of very strong spiritual black men out in Charlotte, North Carolina. So there's a whole bunch of them that are wonderful and great and strong and balanced. But I'm just saying, okay, I'm giving you options, girl. I'm giving you options. I feel like I've said everything that I wanted to say. I hope to never have to talk about shit like this ever again. But to be honest with you, next month is Juneteenth. So I'm going to continue my Black History Month topics because I only did like 3 videos for Black History Month. I told you guys my dad just went to heaven, and it has been hard emotionally, especially with my mom. So I haven't been here much. I've been doing that, but I'm going to continue my Black History Unseason. Couldn't be us in Juneteenth. So I'm actually going to be talking about a lot of more Black topics. I was supposed to incorporate my puppets and my friends in on this. So it's going to be a blast. If you're not subscribed to the channel, stay tuned. I'm Sheila J. This is Chocolate Cake 101. Oh, and share this shit because we need people to be unhinged so that our children, I need Cain to have a beautiful pool of women to pull from. I don't care what color they are, but I want them to be balanced, okay? Because I will not have, if you are my daughter-in-law, I will drag you if you're stupid. So, because my son's going to be good, okay? He's going to be good. I am producing a good black man, a good melanated man, because he's not black. He's melanated. So I need you guys to produce beautiful, brown, melanated little girls for him. So I need you guys to be unhinged. Watch some of my videos so we can all heal. I'm Sheila J. This is Chocolate Cake 101. You guys have a good day. I got shit to do. Peace.